Hi, welcome back. Before we get into today's episode, which is going to be such a good one that I feel like so many people need to hear about and to learn about, just this perspective shift on jealousy and triggers, I do want to tell you about ways you can work with me if that is something that you are desiring. So as you know, I am a certified human design reader and I do offer human design readings. As it stands right now at the time of this recording, I do have human design packages, and I got this set up because when I was going through my training, one of the feedback that I was getting was just how overwhelming a deep dive into human design is, because we cover so much. And so in order to honor where you are in your journey, I decided to create packages to reflect that. So it is set up in a way where you go to my website, KarenGalway.com, click on human design, and you will see the different packages that are there, and then pick whichever one is aligned for you. So it goes from a superficial, just tip of the iceberg look at your human design chart, all the way to a signature deep dive where we talk about incarnation cross and some of the gates that are in your chart that can really bring more awareness into who you are. And the price of the reading that you purchase, if you purchase one that's not like the ultimate package, if you purchase of the reading, then you use that as a credit towards an upgrade down the road if you decide to do that. And I want to do that because, like I said, I want to honor where you are, but I also want to encourage you to come back to learn more, because just knowing just the type of your design is not enough. And if you want to learn more about my philosophy on that, just go back and listen to the episode where I talk about labels. I just think so many of us are just looking for a label to attach onto as opposed to just going inward. And so I feel the very same thing about human design, where we're more than just a type. So I want to encourage you to do a deep dive. So human design reading is a way to work with me. And the other way you can work with me is through my one-on-one 8-week human design based private coaching container. It's called Your Life by Design, so it's the same name as this podcast. And it's set up where the first call that we do together is a deep dive into your human design, just so I can understand you a little bit more and you can understand yourself a little bit more. And then there are 7 remaining calls that happen each week where we go through either a specific topic or something that you're working on, and we pull in human design. So by the end of it, you are able to start living a life by your own design, because you're able to clear things that just are not aligned for you, that are holding you back. And then that also includes voice and text support as well. So it is the all-in so much support from me, whether it's in a face-to-face Zoom call or just text and voice support as needed throughout the week as well. And then I also have, it's going to be launching again soon, my 5-week group mastermind and self-paced course called Vibrant You. And so this combines human design as well as just understanding more about your subconscious mind and how your beliefs are formed, and clearing any inner child traumas that are there, just on a very basic superficial level, just falling in love with your inner child again and really honoring who she is. All that to lead to a place of embodiment, energetic embodiment, so you can start living the life that you want to live without feel like you're being held back, without these limiting beliefs playing a huge role. And a big part of living your life and finding that joy is finding what lights you up, is living your life according to your design. It's like living your life based on your energy and your energetic blueprint. And so that's why human design is included in it, and it's 2 weeks out of the 5 weeks. So we do a deep dive with that. And so a module is released on a Monday, and then a Friday we have our group coaching call. So it's a way to really anchor in what is being released during that week. And of course, we can talk about anything else that comes up during those calls as well. I also have Activate intensives, which are a 90-minute deep dive into a specific limiting belief that you have. So how this works, and one of the things that I've discovered doing human design reading, that there's so much wisdom awareness that's in your chart, and fears that can come up, and conditioning, and just bring awareness to that. And so when you have a limiting belief, and this is even for my own journey, when you have a limiting belief, a lot of times it's reflected in your chart. So I bring this awareness and understanding of why this belief isn't even there, and then we begin to transmute and decondition through a process. So all that is available on my website at KarenGalway.com. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Okay, so today I want to talk about jealousy and triggers. And I feel like there's so much jealousy going on. We're so preoccupied with other people and what they're doing that we're not paying attention to ourselves. And if we live a life where we're comparing to others and seeing what others are doing and making decisions based on what others are doing, we are not going to live our life's purpose. We're going to be so busy being distracted by what other people are doing. And I talked a little bit about this in the last episode on fears, but this is a little bit different in terms of where the jealousy and triggers come from. And I think once we can understand this perspective shift, then we can easily transmute these fears and triggers. So let's talk with fears. I keep calling it fears, jealousy and triggers. So let's talk about jealousy first, what it is, why it happens. And before I go into that, I want to give you an example. Okay. So let's say you are desiring a luxury vehicle, and let's call it like an Audi Q7. Okay. And you went and test drove it. Everywhere you look, you see people driving Audi Q7s. And because that's how the reticular activating system looks, it's now like in your subconscious mind, and your reticular activating system is pulling this into your reality. And so you're seeing Audi Q7s everywhere. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have it. I know it's like, I can't afford it right now, but I can't wait. And it's just, such a fun car. And so you're thinking about it. And let's say you had a good friend that pulled up to your driveway in an Audi Q7 and came out and say, look at this car that I just got. Oh my gosh. Most of us, if we haven't done the work, would probably be like, are you kidding me right now? And then start doing projections and start making mean so much more about this person, maybe kind of creating this avatar in our mind about this person. Like, who does she think she is? And being angry, right? So this is where the jealousy comes in, right? We're jealous that this person is now driving this vehicle that we want, and it's not fair. How come shit can happen to her, but it's not happening to me? Like, life sucks, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's take this exact example. You're running an Audi Q7, and then your friend pulls in a Honda Civic and comes out like, look at this Honda Civic that I have. Like, I love it. And you're like, oh, that's so awesome. But you don't feel as jealous because it's not exactly what you want, right? So we only feel jealous when we see people going after and living a life that we want, but we don't think is possible for ourselves. And so jealousy is a sign that we have these same desires, but we don't think that we're worthy of it or that it's possible. And so we shut it down and we quiet it. But as we know, emotions need to move. They need to move out of our body. And so if we don't move it out of our body, if we don't get to a neutral place, it just stays in our body, it festers, and it can create like disease, right? Dis-ease. It can create issues and create jealousy. And so if we're feeling jealous of someone, a question to ask yourself is, where am I not living my life based on my own desires? Where am I not living out my own desires? Where am I holding back from living out my own desires? Because you would not be feeling jealous if you were also honoring yourself. Okay? So the fact that you're feeling this jealousy means that it's meant for you as well, but you're denying it. So it's where you're holding yourself back, right? But you're seeing those desires play out in others. It's just a reflection. And instead of you honoring like, oh my gosh, like I have the same desire and I can't wait until it happens, you make it mean something that you're not worthy of it and that it's meant for someone else but not you. The thing that I started to do is, the reticular activating system does bring things into your reality, right? And so if someone in your environment is living out a desire that you have but you don't think is possible, but you see it in your reality because it's there, it is actually evidence that this desire is closer to manifesting in your world than you actually think it is. And it's just a matter of releasing what doesn't work for you, releasing these beliefs, releasing these fears, releasing these blocks, so you can really go after what you want and that truly feeling worthy of it. Because you're worthy of any desire that you have. And so when we are able to honor that, when we're able to see that and celebrate where that person is, right? Because love, oneness, right? We're all connected. And so if you're able to celebrate someone else's win, then you're basically celebrating the win of your future self, essentially. And on the same lines as that, when you talk crap about someone who's living a life that is desire filled and you're feeling jealous and it's, triggering you, which we're going to get into more triggers in a few minutes, but it's triggering you and you're like, I don't know if you hear this noise. It's like a clicking sound. It's just my heater. But if you're like feeling jealous about that and you're being triggered by that and you're talking crap about that person because of law of oneness and because of the subconscious mind and how the subconscious mind works, you're basically talking crap about yourself. Now, if you're talking crap about this person who's like living this life of luxury, do you think that your subconscious mind will release the blocks so you can go ahead and live a life of luxury as well? Or do you think your subconscious mind is going to sabotage you so you don't fulfill your desires because you don't want other people talking crap about you? And it's all connected. And when we are able to celebrate other people and their wins and be excited for them, we're being excited for ourselves. We're giving ourselves permission to like, this can happen to me too. And we're releasing those blocks, the doubt, so that we can actually go forward. It is a game changer when you begin to shift your mindset on that. And I used to be such a jealous person, a huge, like really big jealous person. Like, why is this happening to her? But when I compare myself to someone else, I am literally giving my power away. I'm not able to reclaim what is desired for me because I'm so focused on what someone else is doing, right? And these feelings of like disdain that for that person, it's like you're harboring those feelings. It's coming to you. So then your subconscious mind is just like, okay, well, we're not going to do that because, you know, those desires create disdain. So we're not going to do that. So it's just a great way to reframe that jealousy. So when you're feeling jealousy, ask yourself again, where are you holding yourself back? Where do you think it's not possible for you? Why do you think it's not possible for you? How can you step forward? How can you reclaim your power a little bit more? How can you use this as an example that is meant for you as well? So that's jealousy. Triggers are a little bit different. I mean, of course, when you're feeling jealous, you're also triggered. So they are used interchangeably. But triggers happen when we haven't healed something, okay? So it's areas of your life that you haven't accepted. And it's being called out. It's being projected in other people. So someone says something like, got mad at you, honked their horn when you're on the highway because you were cutting them off. You know, they're being triggered and like, because whatever they're going through. And then you're all of a sudden feeling super angry and you're like, oh, you know, who does this person think she is or he is, or like, and then it upsets you, right? This, where you're being called out for something that you did or did not do. And instead of getting to a place of neutrality of like, oh, that person must be having a hard day, you take it personally. You are triggered by it. And then it upsets you. And in the next couple of hours, you're replaying it over your mind and what you could have done differently and blah, blah, blah. Triggers are parts of you that have not been healed. Triggers are beautiful. If we're able to look at it that way as like a sign that something in us has not been healed, what is it? What area have I not accepted about myself? How can I heal that? And then perhaps like maybe you are a people-pleasing person and you're afraid to disappoint people and someone gets mad at you and it's like, oh my gosh, like, what do you think? I didn't do that. Like, why? Like, you are triggered by that. Well, why are you a people-pleasing person? Why do you feel like you need to put yourself on the back burner and then only focus on other people? This is just an example that's just coming to mind. But triggers are a way to see what needs to be healed. And unless we heal that part and accept that part and embody that part, we're going to always be triggered. And so just look at it as a way to go deep within yourself. It's like a piece to the puzzle. It's a way to like see like, oh, this is another part I have to heal. Oh, thank you. Thank you for this trigger. This is something else I have to look at. As opposed to just like, not talking about it, holding on to it, letting it go, or bitch and complain about it to other people. People just love to come together and bitch and complain about their lives, right? And you're just like bitching and complaining about it and not doing anything about it, not healing from it. The triggers will always be there. So here we go, jealousy and triggers. Two very, very strong feelings that as humans we have, but two very, very, very incredible insight to where we need to grow and heal. And if we're able to shift that perspective, if we're able to celebrate others, if we're able to understand that we're all just walking around with these filters, constantly triggering each other. I mean, and this is for another topic as well, but like, you are attracted to your partner, to your soul partner, because of the role that person can play in your healing. And because of that, you will trigger the F out of each other until you're able to face it. Like, triggers are such a beautiful thing. And when we're able to like look at that as gifts, then we're able to be more open to healing, and there will be less triggers and less feelings of jealousy. So anyways, that's the end of this episode. If you liked what you heard, I would love it if you did a screenshot of this episode, post it to Instagram, and tagged me. I will send you a free gift on understanding your human design chart, like helping you walk through it. Because as you know, it is a rabbit hole. And so I created this chart specifically for you that you can have to help you navigate through it. And of course, if you are interested in being in my world, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Karen Galway. And then also check out my website, KarenGalway.com, for ways you can work with me. All right, I hope you have a great day. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I understand how valuable your time is, and I'm honored that you spent it with me. And if you enjoyed this podcast episode, I would love it if you could leave a 5-star rating as well as a review on Apple Podcasts. This just takes a few minutes, but it would mean so much to me as I work to get my message out to the world. And as a thank you for your support, if you screenshot this podcast episode, post it on Instagram stories, and tag me at I am Karen Galway, I will send you a free guide to understanding your human design so that you can start living a life by your design. I'll see you on the next episode.